What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Christian Harloff. This is my daily UAP news channel. Different setting here today. Forgive the setting. It'll be like this until Friday, so deal with it. If you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, subscribe to the channel because this is where we give our Monday through Friday news breakdown. So we hope that you're enjoying it. Thanks for that. Okay. So there's been, and we've talked about it on this channel, we've talked about it on our other show, which we do a full podcast on Tuesdays on our other channel, which you can check that out as well. But we talk about that. We just had Tim Gallaudet on. We've talked about the what a select UAP committee would be. What would it look like? What kind of power would they have, if anything, right? Like, what does it actually mean? Well, Ross Coulthart asked that question today. As he was talking to a reporter, he also said, listen, what does this mean? Break it down. What kind of power would they have? And this is the answer that he got when asking that question.
Joe, what does it mean to have a UAP Select Committee as distinct from it just being talked about in one of the normal subcommittees of the House Oversight Committee? What can a Select Committee do on UAPs that it can't do currently?
So what it would do, and imagine if you had one now, you would have a chairperson of that committee, the top-ranking Republican. You'd have a ranking member, the top Democrat, on that committee. They would potentially have the power themselves to issue subpoenas to the Department of Defense, to private companies, and the House of Representatives has that power now, but what they lack is the will, because of all the other reasons that I've talked about. This is not an issue when you look at the laundry list of things, from immigration to wars to all of the other things, that is really high priority. So a select committee would focus exclusively on this. It would have its own staff. It would have its own potentially lawyers, investigators, people who would work on this issue alone in a way that they don't do right now. And the subpoena power would be key, because imagine a subpoena in the hands of somebody like a Congressman Burleson or like Congresswoman Luna or something along those lines, right? There would be a lot more interest and I think a lot more action and activity. Right now, these members that we've identified who are, on the front lines of this fight, they have to go through the regular committee process to get those kinds of things done. And if they had their own jurisdiction and committee, they wouldn't have to do that. They'd be able to just move forward on things as they came up. So certainly, I think that would be something that would be a huge advantage to them, that they would
So if you see that clip, now this is something that maybe you know, maybe you don't, I'm just kind of newer to this subject over the last year, asking questions, learning people's names, learning the process and how things work. Like, I would have thought a year and a half ago, well, the government, if they wanted to, could just probably ask questions and have the authority to knock on doors and do stuff. And they essentially say that they have the authority to do it, but they have other things that other people are working on that are assigned to other projects, working on other issues. And what this would do would set up a committee to do just UAP, and would give you the power to be able to subpoena and demand stuff, and subpoena Arrow, which I think a lot of people would want to see happen, and start to really knock on doors. The big question that I have, and Ross Coulthart very well might have asked this question, it continued in the interview, I didn't see the full thing yet, but I would like to get the answer of how likely is this committee? Like, will there be pushback on it? Is it going to happen? Yeah, now we've talked about it on this channel that there's open letters to the speaker to make it happen. So it's possible. But the question is anybody going to kind of start throwing their hat in the ring to make sure that it doesn't happen? When you look at what happened with that Chuck Schumer bill back in December, where everybody thought that was going to be the bill that was going to do this stuff, that was going to get more answers, that was going to give Congress more power to get these subpoenas and things like that. So having a committee kind of jumps over, does that. The other question is, as we've talked about, David Grush has been rumored to be working with the UAP caucus. Is this one of their moves to potentially get him in to be working on this also? Is that something that's a possibility? I don't know. I guess the question is, when you, as I titled this, the type of power, or what kind of power this UAP Select Committee will have. After hearing this explanation, if it gets approved, do you think this is the type of thing that can move the needle? I'm very curious. Put your comments in there. Let me know. Again, if you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here, subscribe. I'll be back in the regular office on Friday, so bear with 2 days of this setting if you can. So thanks again. Appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon.